What are the best builds currently in competitive, so 5 versus 5 automated tournaments in Guild Wars 2 PvP right now? This is the summary of this monthly automated tournament on EU, mind you, at the end of August. As always, special thanks to all my dear supporters that help me keep the lights on. And now without much further ado, let's jump straight in and start by saying this is obviously not a rating, this is just a showcase and telling you the top 5 builds that were played in this automated tournament. I will showcase all the builds that I mentioned here. This list is not in a specific order other than how often they appeared. This doesn't mean how strong they are necessarily, but don't forget this is in pre-made 5 versus 5 teams. This is not necessarily applicable to how to easily carry ranked matches where you can only solo or duo queue. Keep that in mind as well. There you want to play way more aggressive builds in my opinion. This meta is very bunker heavy with one exception. Of course, all the builds I show here are just an example. Some specific builds that I mention here, I will mention it again, but most builds are played exactly like this. Sometimes people swap around some sigils, maybe the rune, and sometimes even the relic or the amulet, but most of the time this is the somewhat similar build, and this is just the primary example that I show here. So let's jump straight in. The first build that was regularly played, not in highest amounts, but still regularly played, is Power Harbinger. Yes, it's still a very good build. However, it changed a bit. You can see here that it changed from being played as Spear with another weapon set to actually a defensive weapon set with the buffs to Transfusion and Staff. So now you still run Blood Magic, but you drop the Blood Bank trait and switch to Transfusion and get some stability access, some healing access, and some just defensive tools on your Staff, while also having the aggressiveness of the Spear. So in general, this is a way more, so to say, bruisery build than before, I would say. It loses a little bit of damage while getting a lot of support for its allies as well, so you can easily push in the teamfight as well if you wanted to, but it's primarily made, as far as I understand it, for some kind of side noting and really outlasting, probably winning all 101s right now. So probably the best side noder as far as I would tell if you don't want to bunker down the node. Typical teams only played one of those, but it's a very strong build, and you even could make an adjustment, of course, as always, to some sigils, even the amulet can be adjusted to, for example, Tyrant. I saw some people playing that as well, but I think it's typically played as Demolisher. Now to the second build, or the second 2 builds to be honest, because those share a spot. Support, most teams had one support. This support role was either filled by a Tempest in like a lot of the cases, or with a support Spellbreaker. Yes, support Spellbreaker and support Tempest are apparently now the best supporters. Chronomancer is definitely dethroned. Didn't see that much of that. And Tempest was very common. You can see this build here, classical build with the aura share and a lot of vigor uptime and endurance support as well. It got nerfed a bit, but still very commonly seen and very strong build with Staff, of course. The support Spellbreaker itself is actually quite an old build that is now coming back because of some buffs or some nerfs to the other supports most likely. And it's definitely a strong build, very high healing output, a lot of self-sustain and great mobility. It's way more mobile than Tempest. Why? Because it runs melee weapons, so it doesn't support from range that well, it only has the banners, but it is more mobile. So it's typically way more important to be mobile if the map is large. Before I go on to the next, I want to mention, if you like this video, be sure to hit the like button to help out my channel, and if you want to see more content like this, don't forget to subscribe. But now let's talk about some honorable mentions. Those builds were played, but they were not especially strong or especially often seen, but I would personally say they actually carried their team at least. So let's start with the first one, which is Condi Spectre. Yes, Condi Spectre is always in the meta to some extent because it's a very strong all-around build. So you can see the build here, it's really strong. Then you have support Firebrand. Support Firebrand actually made some kind of comeback as well, with Chrono being nerfed and Tempest and Spellbreaker being in the top spot, but Firebrand is still playable, as you can see here. It's quite a fun build, really strong as well, has some crazy support potential as well. But now let's go to our number 3 spot, Bunker Renegade. Yes, there are many variations of this build, so I will just showcase this one here, but there are so many. You could run Staff, Hammer, you can run Hammer, Sword, Shield, and you can run different traits, you can run different amulets. There are so many different choices, different sigils, of course, rune, relic, whatever. You just the Renegade as a bunker build. That's the general idea. You play it as a bunker for either team fight or for a side node, whatever, and it's really about bunkering. The thing is, this build was on EU mostly played by the Frenchies, so by the French teams, and they played it in huge amounts. So like 3 per team. You can see we had a match here where we had 3 versus 3 renegades. So there were 6 renegades in a single match. Some other teams, even the winning team on EU, did not play any Renegades. So what does that say about the build? You would decide for yourself. Just saying, some people really heavily put their money on Renegade. Now let's talk about the next spot, which is, in my opinion, the only DPS build that you can play right now in highly competitive pre-made matches, which is Mirage, DPS Mirage. There are two variations of the build. You can see it here, and both of them obviously deal huge amounts of damage. You can again switch around some runes or sigils, but in general, this is the build that can go through the bunker meta right now. It has huge burst, is quite slippery, and is, I would say, quite mobile. And that's quite nice to actually stick on the target or disengage or get decaps. So it's really filling the perfect role in the current meta. And a lot of teams actually played at least one. Some people, for example, the winning team on EU actually played two of them. The last build is actually, sorry again, Bunker Scourge. Yes, the nerfs were not enough. People still play it. People still play it more than ever. We had teams with 3 Bunker Scourges. Most teams actually played 2 or something like that. It's quite crazy how often it is still played. And I can just say this is a very strong build that did not care about the nerfs too much, I would say. And hopefully we will get some more nerfs because people, even the people that played it, don't like it too much. So we will see. But you can see the meta did not change too much. Almost not in all, I would say. That's a little bit sad. The nerfs were not enough. They were nudging in the right direction apparently, but not good enough. So you can still see the same builds. So I hope we get some bigger balance patch very soon. Let me know your takes on this. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to leave a like. If you want to see more like this and the upcoming monthly AT summaries, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks to all my supporters again, and hope to see you all in the next video.